Bioterror is a real threat. More than 175 monkeys were exposed to a bioterror bacteria inside a major research complex near New Orleans. These specimens, these monkeys, were returned to their outdoor cages before officials knew that they were exposed to a deadly pathogen. The US government considers Burkholderia pseudomallei, a bacteria, a potential agent for terrorism and biological warfare. If infected, an animal that becomes ill can shed the bacteria through feces and urine, and then colonizes the soil and water, and if there's a rain, the water runoff will take this bacteria to the area that is populated with a community. Although there's a limited number of soil and water tests that came negative, some specialists say that they didn't do enough probes in the area to really be sure that they didn't find the agent, Nick. This is very important because this facility is key in the research because they breed the monkeys and they ship them to the rest of the research facilities in the country. Not only that, this facility has been under investigation since last year for repeated offenses and repeated incidents with this bacteria and exposure to monkeys. The background is this bacteria is not native to the United States. We don't find it here in nature.
I bet none of the monkeys are either, bro.
You know, they are doing research for vaccination because they consider this to be a possible agent for biological warfare. So there was a lab accident, the monkeys were exposed, they were taken out to their cages, and now we have the potential for these bacteria to spread. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, so let's set aside for a second, this fact that they have previous problems with protocol. Now, potentially what's happened is that hundreds of these monkeys are all together in this one place. We don't know how many of them have it.
Yeah. And they're testing. They're testing every monkey that were in the area at the time, but this is on the hundreds.
That's terrifying. It's like some Planet of the Apes stuff, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they won't get more intelligent, but they will get infected. Actually, they already found 3 cases of monkeys dying because of this disease. So the exposure was real, there was infections, and now they are not too sure if these monkeys, when they were outside, actually shed any bacteria into the community.
How long does it stay in their body before they have any sort of
It's a very interesting point because this bacteria has a very long incubation period. It can happen that you feel it in the next 2 weeks of the infection, but it could also happen that you inoculate the bacteria in your body for up to a year. God. So you could be for a whole year without not knowing that you were exposed to this bacteria, and then suddenly you feel sick. The fatality rate on this disease that the bacteria causes is 50%. It's a very long course of antibiotics, and it's a long battle. If you get sick, it's a flip of a coin, 50-50 that you will die or survive. But one of the other important things is that we are doing this research on vaccination on very dangerous bacteria. And at the same time, there is this lack of transparency of the incidents that happen. This facility is the 3rd investigation that is being launched to see why is this bacteria getting exposed repeatedly to these monkeys. These monkeys are being shipped to all the other research facilities in the country. So we have all the elements. It sounds sci-fi. It sounds like it's out of a movie, but the reality is that there's so many variables in this story that if by any chance they line up in the worst case scenario, we'll see a spread of a disease that we didn't even have in this country. And the Tulane Primate Center, that is this 500-acre facility where they have over hundreds of different primates and monkeys, they haven't been disclosing the reality of what's going on inside in this research. And it angered a lot of people in the community. This center is surrounded by houses and it's surrounded by a community. So it's pretty scary that there's not the necessary control to avoid an epidemic of a very dangerous disease.
Yeah, a very dangerous disease coming from monkeys that could possibly spread to humans, which has a 50% mortality rate. Does that sound familiar? Just as we're getting rid of this huge spike in Ebola cases in Africa, we learn about this, and it's scary. I mean, people are obviously going to be more well prepared now because of this whole Ebola scare, but still, like, I guess this is just one side effect of animal testing. This is something
The
that
more
we
do
have
it,
to deal with,
exactly.
you know?
And just to clarify, the monkeys were not being subject to test with this bacteria. The facility, they share, it hosts both the primate operation, that is the main operation of the facility, and also this group that were researching possible vaccination against the bacteria.
Yeah, but still, naturally, thousands of monkeys don't
same
hang out
place,
together
yes.
in cages, so you're going to see things that, like this, for example.
Exactly.
This is going to happen a lot.
So the monkeys have been tested. Only 3 have been infected. Also, the testing in the area has been done, although there's controversy around that too. And the important thing is that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has stated that right now there's no evidence of a possible health threat. Okay. But they're still investigating it because it's a repeated incident. So
even if there was, they probably wouldn't say anything to not scare people.
Exactly.
But who knows?
And I think that's important that people don't scare that we're facing a bioterror attack or anything. But it's something to pay attention of the procedures that they're being followed in these research facilities, and that they need to be more transparent. Let us know what you think. Does it scares you that some lab accident can unleash a bacterial infection in a community as big as New Orleans? Let us know what you think in the comments, and subscribe to the Lip TV.